Welcome back to episode number 9 of Gathering Place Podcast, the Gathering Place Podcast.
You're doing so well with that.
So I've had a lot of time to practice.
Yeah.
So I would call it something else early on because
Let's
I
not
could never
mess you
get.
up. Let's not mess you up. You have a system now.
Podcast name down,
Yes.
but Gathering Place Podcast rolls off the tongue pretty easy. And today, well, let me back up. So I am Joe Seaman, a real estate agent here in the Augusta, Georgia area, which I'm also in North Augusta, South Carolina, and Aiken, South Carolina, an area that the locals call the CSRA, which is the Central Savannah River area. And I am accompanied by my bride on this episode.
Are you going to introduce me? I have to introduce myself.
Introduce yourself.
I don't like doing this part. My name is Hope, and I do all the behind-the-scenes work and keep up with our kids and all the things.
All of it.
We really need to come up with a title. I wear many hats as I'm beating this podcast mic up. I wear many hats, and one of that's operations manager, transaction coordinator, mom, all the things. Let's just settle on that. There needs to be one word, though. I think it should be domestic engineer.
Oh, my.
I think it should be. I mean, we could go a little bit further,
Okay.
but I think it should be. Anyway, I'm responsible for all the moving parts.
Everything is, yes, Hope takes care of a lot.
I do.
And so very grateful that she just graciously came in. I think it was under, you just came in because you just saw I just needed extra help.
I rebelled for many years.
And I just, like, you saw, like, you know what I like and how I want things done. Call me a perfectionist, call me OCD, call me extreme, call me whatever, but I like for things to be done a certain way. I just could never find anybody to do all that I needed done.
You did have
pieces here
you have
and people
a lot
there
of wonderful
and,
admin
yes.
that do, but I live with you.
Yeah.
And I know you better than you know yourself half the time, and there's certain things you like them certain ways. So I came in to help, and that's how I'm here.
Yep.
And
has rocked it out, y'all.
But in the very
I'm just
beginning, I
like,
refused.
This is, and she's like telling me, all right, I'm still waiting on this form to be signed. When are you going to get this done? Like, I've never had anybody really, like, tell me what to do. I mean,
He doesn't like it all the time, but he's fine. He rolls with it.
Hope gets it done.
I think when I first came in, I believe your exact words were, I'm not sure how this is going to go.
Yeah.
But it's been fun.
It's been fun.
It's been good.
I will be honest and just say sometimes at night, because I've been gone. Most of the day I'm gone, out showing properties, getting listings, just all the real estate stuff in the field. And it's hard for us to have a long conversation, and then Hope is wanting to,
because I haven't talked to him all day.
Get
he's
things
been in the field.
checked off her list, and it's like 9:00 at night, and I'm just like, Hope, I'm done. Like, you get one more question, and I'm done for the night.
Oh.
And then I like to
and I'll ask 2 more questions.
I want to talk about something else, and so.
Well, we're learning.
Yeah.
That's a good. We're learning that balance. It's just a busy season too.
It's very busy. So.
And our kids are troopers and go along for the ride.
Yep.
So.
Currently, we've got this is July of 2023, and we've got 20 listings coming soon. Probably about just as many or more properties under contract.
Yes.
Like, it's been very, very, very busy.
It's very busy,
So,
but it's
very
a good
grateful.
thing.
Yep. Very grateful. So today we're not even talking about any of that.
But it goes into mindset.
It does.
Which is
it
kind
goes
of what
into
we're
mindset.
talking about. And
Yep,
how we
so-
ebb and flow our daily life into our business life and then into our family life and all the things. So you start us
being
off.
in real estate, I will say is probably the most challenging industry that I've ever been a part of. I've been a part of many industries. Hope has been a part of many different industries and jobs and things like that. And I will tell you that real estate is probably the toughest industry that I've ever been a part of, but it's the most fulfilling for me. But in saying that, we deal with a lot of, just like on one of my Instagrams, we deal with a lot of crazy Karens and We deal
Well,
with a lot of
crazy
just,
personalities. We have a really good friend, and her name's Karen, and she really hates when we call people Karens. I know, but she's Karen and she's sweet. So let's just say crazy personalities.
Okay.
Let's be the ones to change the narrative.
all right.
I know.
So we can
I
do
feel
that.
bad. I just
So,
feel
anyways,
bad.
no, I'm just saying, like, we deal with a lot of personalities. So you got agents that have this old school mentality, like
Yeah.
they've got to control the whole process, and then you've got new style agents, what I try to consider myself in. I mean, my job and my goal is the same as yours, Miss Crazy Agent, and that is to
did
get
so
us
good
to the closing table. Like, your seller wants to sell a house, my buyer wants to buy a house, or vice versa. Our goals are the same. And
Yes.
so it doesn't have to be one agent controls the other or controls the process or transaction. But that's kind of like an old school mentality.
You're really good at that, though, because on the paperwork end, the transaction end, the behind the scenes, there are times that I want to scream, and I'm like, I'm formulating an email, and it's not so nice, and the little still small voice in the back of my head is saying, "Hope, run that by Joe first." It's probably a little harsh, and I'm like, "Can I say this?" And 9 times out of 10, you say, "No." Well, first of all, you don't tell me no. That's not what you say, but you typically will
Probably say, I wouldn't quite word it that way.
word it that way. But I hear no. But you say, like, maybe word it like this. Very rare. There's been a time or two he's like, send it, because ultimately your goal is to make your client happy. That is your goal, even if that means putting yourself, your aggravations behind you and putting them first, and you're really good at that, and that's why you're a really good agent, and I'm not really good at that, and I won't be good at that. I will be a good paperwork person because I can yell and scream at the computer while he just smiles and says, whatever you need me to do is what I'm going to do, because of that mindset.
Because the mindset, yeah, it does go back to mindset. So all right, so in real estate, like, I have found value in, so I do pay for coaching, like real estate coaching, and I have a wonderful coach. I've been through several coaching groups until I found this one group, and it is a wonderful nationwide group, and I just, like, it's invaluable to me. But one thing that we really focus on in that group is not necessarily the tactics of how to sell real estate or what you need to do with buyers or how to shoot this video or what equipment you need to shoot a video or what tripod you need or any of that stuff. We focus in so much on mindset week after week after week after week. And I am one that I like to get on the stage in that group and talk mindset, because I'm telling you, and I tell our team this all the time, and I say it just about daily, is your thoughts, no matter what is going on around you in the world, your world could be crumbling physically, but your thoughts are the one thing that you can change at any given moment. No matter what you're going through, what you're dealing with, you can change how you're thinking about that situation. So, my mindset, I do work very, very hard on my mindset. I told Hope before I went into the having my surgery back in February, that my mindset, because I work so hard on it every single day, 7 days a week, I was very concerned about, like, losing my mindset or getting caught in a ditch or something like that with my mind. And, fortunately, we didn't ever really go there. But anyways, mindset is so important. I think that I would put it in these terms, that in my industry, in my business, real estate, selling real estate, I would say 80% of it is mindset and about 20% of it is the job. And so...
And after helping, I would agree with that. Because really and truly, like, the paperwork aspect of it is not as complicated, but it is a lot of moving parts and juggling those parts and personalities and other people's fears and anxieties. Like, I'm the type person that I take those kind of things on. If someone is anxious or nervous or stressed out, and like I come into the situation, like I'm having to learn to put boundaries down myself for my own personal mindset, because I'm going to absorb everything that person's feeling because it just makes sense for me to help them, you know. But that's not good either. So you've actually inspired me on several occasions to just change it. Like, it is the only thing you can change. You can't change your circumstances. Well, you can change your circumstances, but you know what I mean? Like, you may not be able to change the moment, but you can change how you process the moment and how you remember the moment.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that a little bit here when we talk about family vacation we just came off of last week. So,
but
yes.
I mean, I think along with that mindset, you've got like your routine, your things that you do in the mornings to set your day up. And in the mornings, I just spend time on focusing, keeping my mind sharp. You know, whether it's a good day or a bad day, you're right.
Yeah.
Either you think it's a good day or you think it's a bad day. And I would say 95% of my days are good days.
Yeah.
No matter if, I kid y'all not, like probably a year ago, between Sunday and Wednesday, I'd had 7 terminations on different properties.
Yeah,
Do you remember that?
I do.
And
But I honestly didn't know it till it was over, because you didn't really show it that week.
show it because I'm just like, okay, not my problem. It was my problem, but it's not it wasn't me causing the terminations. So if you're in real estate, most real estate agents don't know how to deal with that because they think it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
They've set up, all this stuff. They've done work.
Right.
We have staff that we pay to process papers and get things turned around and set up and stuff like that. But between Sunday and Wednesday, I'd had 7 terminations.
I'd forgotten about that.
And I just called my broker and I'm like, you won't believe this, but I was like, and I can remember, she was like, well, you're handling it well. She said, typically when we have terminations, and especially more than one, the agent's in my office crying. And I'm just like, well, what do you want me to do? Like, it's not about me. It's not about me. It's either, the buyer can't get their financing, they don't like the house anymore, or just there's other outside factors, and so I didn't take it on. So that's a big part of my mindset and how I do keep it the way it is that I try not to take on other people's issues, especially when they're trying to push them off on you. I don't take on people's stuff. I just don't. And Hope absorbs like she's a sponge. And I'm like a piece of tinfoil reflected. And so, anyways, I work very, very hard on my mindset, and I hope to teach my children to have a positive mindset. I do try to reiterate that kind of stuff at home and among our clients, because there's just no room for a whole lot of bad days. And so I love the book, The Gap in the Gain by Dr. Benjamin Hardy, and I listen to it quite often, and it's just talking about the gap. Think of it, the gap. You've got this empty space, this void, and then the gain. So it's anything positive or anything that you think is positive. And so while we're allowed to be in the gap for a very short period of time, okay, allow yourself that time to be in the gap. Focus on the gain. Like,
right.
I said this week in a Instagram post, if you're breathing, if you woke up this morning, if you have blood in your body, a shelter over your head, if you're driving in a car, if you ate today, if you had water today, you've got a pretty doggone good life. And so there's no reason for all the negativity. And I think something is just in the air right now.
Yeah.
Because people are so mad at each other, so just frustrated, have a short fuse with any and everything right now. And there's just no room for it.
No, I agree.
And I feel like I try to coach our team and my family that we are called to put positivity into the world. And there's so many stories. Like, I'm just going through a million stories in my head, and I share this one with our team quite often, is that I shop at Publix. And so I was in the grocery store one day.
I like Kroger. Sorry.
Publix all day long.
Kroger.
So,
Click list.
Buy one, get one free. So anyways, I was in Publix one day shopping, and I randomly smile and just ask people, hey, you doing okay today? Stuff like that. And I was leaving, and another lady was leaving. Okay, that's what it was. We were both kind of leaving at the same time. She comes in, she's leaving out of one door, I'm leaving out the other door, and she happened to be in an electric wheelchair. And she was kind of struggling with her buggy, and I said, hey, let me get that for you. Would you like your bags in your little basket and stuff like that? And just smiling with her, smiling, and just said, how's your day been? And she completely stopped everything. And she said, would you know the whole time I'm in here shopping, not one person has spoken to me. And it's just taken that literally took like less than 60 seconds out of my day, out of my life,
Right.
to try to interject positivity into somebody else, or just let them know, hey, I see you, and I don't know your name, I don't have a clue who you are,
Right.
but I see you, and you make a difference in this world. And so I just kind of, as I got in my truck, put my groceries in the truck, and was driving home, I was just like, how sad is that?
Yeah. We
that
don't take that time.
People just mindlessly wander through the store and don't even speak to each other, and so that's just part of my mindset, is try to just bring a smile to as many people's faces as I can a day.
Well, I always say leave people in better shape than you found them, because, that's easy to do. You can't, just makes you a decent human being in general. And it's something that everybody needs. We all need that.
Yeah.
Like, I was talking to my sister-in-law yesterday, and she could tell, like, I was having a little bit of a stressful day, and she said, okay, wait a minute now. I can tell, like, I can hear it in your voice, and just having those people around you that can just pay attention. And she said, okay, what can I do? What can I say? What can I pray with you about, like, to make it better? She couldn't physically do anything to make my day better yesterday, but she could listen and just hear my heart. So that was pretty cool. Leaving people in better shape than you found them.
And as simple as that, a comment, or as simple as a smile, like, cost her nothing, cost me nothing, cost me, like I said, 60 seconds or less to help someone out. And I wasn't doing it for any type of gain. It was solely for trying to make somebody's day a little bit better. And then just kind of going back to the Gap in the Game book, like, if you've not read it or listened to it, like, please get it, because it is an amazing book. A few months ago, I was working with these sellers for weeks and weeks and weeks, and actually sold them an off-market piece of property.
Yeah, you handled
and
that
then
one very well.
sold them an off-market piece of property. I didn't charge them any commission, because basically my commission was the difference that the sellers were and the buyers were on price. And I said, you know what? I'm going to be listing y'all's house. Don't worry. I'm going to just forego commission. We'll get it done, because y'all want this property really, really bad. Sellers want to sell the property really, really bad.
Right.
I was the connecting piece. And so I said, hey, don't worry about it. I'll catch it whenever I go to sell your house. Everybody was good with that. And then in the meantime, like, had met with them several times on several different occasions. Rode around the whole property on the golf cart, spent hours and hours and hours with them. Gave them surveyors, land clearers, pressure washers, painters, tons of people to help get their property ready for the market. And continually checked in. Like, I did not drop the ball on this. Like, I know without a shadow of a doubt that I did not drop the ball on this at all. Stayed in constant communication with them. They had even told people around town that Joe was going to list their house. And so I'm coming home from the office one day. They don't live too far from us, so I took a different route, ran by their house, and I was like, oh, wow, their house looks really, really good. So
Like, are we ready for pictures?
I said, let me call her. So I called her. She didn't answer. I texted her, and I said, hey, are we ready? Like, everything looks amazing around the house.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't ever hear back from her that evening. Or maybe it was that evening.
I
can't remember. It might have been the next day, because I don't think I would have been able to sleep that night.
No, I think it was
the next morning. She had texted and said, "Hey, sorry, we've been really busy, but just to let you know, we signed an agreement with another agent." And basically, that was it. I was like, "What?" So I did throw a temper tantrum for like.
Well, you
2
didn't.
minutes.
You just sounded it out. It wasn't a temper tantrum. You were just like, "What in the world?"
Yeah.
But
In my head, I was really like
right.
on the ground, kicking and screaming, and like just wanting to punch something. So
There goes that mindset. I didn't
Yeah.
even know it. But go ahead.
So, but that was me being in the gap for like 2 or 3 minutes. And then I just remember through mindset and all the stuff that I do, you know, all this stuff. I'm in our kitchen, and I just look around and go, man, you are one blessed dude.
Right.
Like, you've got a great, healthy family, got a great house, great property, great job, you know.
Yeah.
Everything in your life is good. It's not as bad as...
Can't win them all.
Can't win them all. But anyways, to say all that, I went upstairs to my office after that. I journaled out 5 things that I was grateful for, put on some kind of upbeat music. And y'all, I tell you what, within the hour, do you remember this?
I do, because we just closed on that property not too long ago.
Within the hour, I get a text from a previous client and said, "Hey, Joe, we need to sell our house ASAP." And I'm like, whoa. Back up. We got to do some homework. I got to tell you how much it was worth and all this and that. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So I'm sitting at my desk, and I run the comps on it, and I'm like,
They were identical, right?
holy crap. So I'm like, whoa. Let me make sure I got the right address and make sure everything was right. And they comped out. So the house that I had gotten the call for, the text on, and the house that I had lost out were comped out to be the exact same amount. One was in a country town, one was in the city. And I just thought, you know what? I think had I buried myself in a hole after I got that text that I didn't get the listing, that my competitor got the listing, I think if I had just thrown myself into a hole, because that was on a Thursday, and typically 3, 4, 5 years ago, like, we would have had a really bad weekend.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Like, it wouldn't have been a fun weekend, but typically I would have just been, I can't believe this, and just mad, and just, you know, nothing's going my way. But I didn't stay there. I didn't stay in the gap, and so I went on and went to work, shared what I was grateful for, thought about everything that we're so blessed and grateful to have, and then that came.
Out.
And then another one came, same day, and then another one, and then another one, and then in a span of 7 days from the moment I had gotten the bad news that I didn't get the listing, within a span of 7 days, we had $6.1 million worth under contract. And I just think, had I just shut everything off and, you know, been mad that I lost the one listing, and y'all know I'm very competitive about my listings. Like, I got the little glare in my eye just now. I'm very competitive about my listings. Like, in the last 5 years, I can count on one hand how many listings I've lost. And so, yeah, I'm intense when it comes to my
You're
properties.
intense right now.
Yeah, they can feel it in the room.
I am not selling a house, sir.
They can feel it in the room. Like, I'm very serious about my job.
I love my house.
I love what I do. I'm very passionate about what I do. But had I stayed in that gap about losing the one, I don't think that any of the rest of that would have come to me.
No, I don't think so either.
And then here we are.
You're so intense right now. I'm not going to disagree with you anyway.
Here we are, middle of 2023. We're in a recession. We're in high interest rates, low inventory, and like
we're very grateful.
We are, but we've got stuff just coming out of our ears.
Which we're grateful for each and every one.
Yes. But I'm just saying, like, I think had I just shut down,
Well,
we would not be where we're at. And that's the point
we're
of
probably
mindset.
about at the cutoff point. I can't remember if we got that signal or not yet,
Yeah,
but
we did.
but
10 minutes ago.
Oh,
He gave
I'm
us the
so
5-minute
sorry.
signal.
I didn't see that. Notice it hasn't been me talking the majority on this one. This one's been
But
Joe.
this is a very passionate subject
Yes.
of mine because I worked very hard on it, and I just fill my mind with positivity and positive stuff all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Even
I've already forgotten what I was going to say.
even driving around town, like I'm listening to podcasts. I'm
You
listening
are.
to
You are.
just positive stuff, and I could go on and on and on about this. This might be a two-parter, but anyways, I love mindset stuff, and
I love you.
I wish there was another word for mindset because it just sounds so cliche. So
I'm sure you'll create one.
yep. So anyways, Hope is like giving me the glean, like we got to go. But anyways, that is episode number 9 on mindset
Of the Gathering
Place podcast. And so we'll catch you on the next one.
Number 10. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.